I didn't.
The Bloodied Condition, originally from 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons, is used to signify how a creature is faring in combat scenarios. A creature becomes bloodied when they reach half their hit point maximum, rounded down, which acts as a way of communicating the state of the ongoing battle of the opponent with the players.
Telling the players the creature they are fighting is bloodied shows them how far along in the fight they are and whether they should be planning to retreat or going in for the kill.
Today, we discuss a product that includes clever details and features to deliver a dynamic battle in your D&D game. Join us today as we talk Bloodied and Bruised from our friend Ann Gregerson, a creator we have featured on our show multiple times.
Yes, I love Ann. I'm glad to talk about our product today. We want to say hello and welcome to all of you here at Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure. Now, let's get into it, shall we? The purple is you.
No,
I'm purple.
Yeah. Oh, you're purple. Damn it.
The Bugbear Chief nurses a gushing wound in her side before issuing an order to retreat to her allies.
A bright light forms around the angel's dying corpse, blinding everyone near as it passes on from the world of the living.
With blood streaming down its torso, an enraged hill giant slams its fist into the ground and causes the very earth itself around it to quake.
Absolutely. Bloodied and Bruised is a series providing new combat actions for creatures in the 5e roster. When pushed to their limits in combat, these monsters, critters, fiends, foes gain new abilities that can aid them in the battle, or perhaps spell their doom depending on the circumstances. Bloodied and Bruised takes inspiration from the Bloodied Condition in 4e, making entirely new combat actions that can completely change the nature and dynamic of the fight.
In addition, Bloodied and Bruised also introduces several death throws into the game.
Yes.
Marking the demise of certain creatures with a grand explosion, heavy fall, or other unique effects to make the slaying of a great monster a truly unique experience. Or like one from our video game from the NES era.
I was looking through a lot of the monsters. I got like 4 of them picked out, and some of the death throws I've seen are just not fair.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. Now, if you're following us for the first time, thank you for joining us, and please take a moment to hit that follow or subscribe or whatever button, whatever platform you're following us on. If you're joining us again after continuing to join us repeatedly, thank you so much for your time and your patronage. It really means a lot to us. Now, let's get into it. I am super excited to talk about this, you guys. We have picked several of our favorite features out of this product, but my God, Ann really knocked it out of the park with Bloodied and Bruised Monster Manual. If you're watching on TikTok, come join us on YouTube. You can get a live feed as we're scrolling through this a little bit. Now, the first thing we kind of talked about already, 4th edition. I know that some people dislike it because it's not a great D&D game, but is a really great tabletop game.
They're nuts.
Yeah. And because of that, a lot of us that are writing D&D content have been taking a lot of inspiration from 4th edition because there was some things that it just did right. And one of those things, in my opinion, is the Bloodied Condition. And obviously, Ann agrees. If you haven't followed Ann, she has made some amazing content. Gesh's Guide to Making Things, Monster Loot, Wanted Dead or Alive, Surviving the Apocalypse. So many great products, which I think we've covered most of them on the show at some point. So make sure to follow the link in the dibbly-doo or on our website, on our blog for the Bloodied and Bruised show notes. So as you can see in here, as we're scrolling through, this covers every monster in the Monster Manual. Now, I do want to point out that there are some monsters that don't get bloodied features because they are likely to die in one hit anyway.
Cool.
So she just kind of went over those, but the vast majority of these have some fantastic details. So how about we scroll through this massive list and pick out some of our favorites. Brandon, now let's make sure it is clear that the Bloodied Condition, as far as a mechanic, is actually been implemented in 5th edition and a couple monsters, but they don't give it a new condition. It's just a feature of the monster, which is, I think, them kind of playing with it. But That being said, oh crap. That being said, I'm not supposed to say that no more. I say it too much. So there's a lot that gets added to this. I'm not going to go into the details of all the extra differences. Death throws is very much something that's represented in some creatures, such as the Mephit, and she talks a little bit about that, where it dies and they go kaboom. She has added a variety of new features of that. So before we get into the specifics, what are some things that you guys thought just really stood out about this product?
Well, I do think it adds more dynamic options to combat, which is something that we've already harped upon. And let's be real here. A lot of players love combat. 4/5 of the rules for this game are about combat.
Yes, there's no denying that.
With the product itself, I love the fact that all the monsters are in alphabetical order.
Hallelujah.
They're not by CR or anything like that.
Yeah. Wizard, take note that she actually categorized the stuff better than I think Wizards of the Coast does, in my opinion. But that's Justin's opinion. So the layout of this book and the artwork and stuff looks really good. The fact that it's bloodied and bruised and you got like red blood splotches everywhere is on point. So we had a few of the monsters of our own that we really wanted to talk about. I know that I did. Is there any ones you guys wanted to go to first before I move on to some of our specifics?
I had 4 that I found. There's one I did want to look at because I thought it was interesting, and there was one that I just thought was just unfair.
Which one's that? Let's go look at that one.
The unfair one is the Tarask.
The Tarask.
I think she may have made it accidentally a little stronger.
Accidentally, it's a Tarask. It's supposed to be terrifying.
And
page 69.
Well, let's be real. Let's be real here too. The Tarask needed help.
It needed some rain shit. Is what it needed. Is that what you gave it? I don't remember.
It's down. There it is.
There it is. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
First off, when Bloodied at 338 HP, which is
ridiculous,
hilarious. The Tarask has the following features: Frailty,
yes,
Chipped Shell. This is a.
Can you tell us about Frailty?
This Frailty.
Do you know what the mechanic is?
I do not know the mechanic.
Basically, she added weaknesses to monsters.
Yeah.
When they're bloodied, which is what this is.
That's what this was. This definitely helps the players to hit them. It's a Chipped Shell. While bloodied, the Tarask's natural armor becomes damaged, lowering its AC by 2. So it does make it easier to hit. But then it has the new ability, which is what I think is just not right. A new ability. It can't be killed. While bloodied, if the Tarask fails its saving throw against a spell or effect that would kill it instantly, such as a disintegrate spell, the spell or effect instead deals no damage. If the Tarask loses a limb or body part, the lost portion regrows in 1d6 minutes.
Holy shit.
Detached pieces dies and decays normally. The Tarask is also immune to all diseases and curses. New ability, regeneration. While bloody, the Tarask regains 30 hit points at the start of its turn as long as it has 1 HP. The Tarask dies only if it starts its turn with 0 HP.
Dude!
And its strength. It gets increased speed. While bloodied, the Tarask speed is 60 feet instead of 40.
Dude, she totally just screwed over everyone that says, I can kill a Tarask with an Aarakocra with Eldritch Blast.
Bitch, come here. Nom, 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 nom.
That's what everyone says. Oh, I can just fly away and blast it repeatedly. And this kind of deals with it. Now, it's important to know, usually regeneration stops when they take fire damage. It doesn't say that.
No.
Like, at all. So that's terrifying. Like, how do you even beat it then?
You got to make sure it's at 0 HP before the start of his next turn.
Wow. So you have to continually do at least 30 points of damage or it'll just stay alive.
Yep.
That's savage. I like that. Now, as cool as that is, let's talk about some monsters that are more likely to get some love and engagement
the other one I was
in the
talking
game.
about was the Spectre.
You know what page that is?
It's just above the next page. Right there.
Spectre.
Because I like the Spectre. I like using it. It's fun.
What do you like about the Spectre?
The fact that it can raise dead around it. I think
does it turn the people it kills into them, or does it just res them? I forgot.
I can't remember if it's a Wraith or a Spectre that does that.
Yeah, anyways, so what is this ghostly creature's powers?
All right, so the Spectre one bloodied at 11 HP. The Spectre has the following features: Frailty. Okay, so it's
not bad.
Oh,
you're good.
It's failed in defense. Torn shape. While bloodied, the Spectre's speed is lowered by 10 feet to a minimum of 5 feet, and its AC is lowered by 1. Of course, making it easier to hit. So, it's Death Throw. Death's Embrace. A cold wind gusts out from where the Spectre was, engulfing everyone nearby in a mournful embrace.
Oh.
Creatures within 10 feet of the Spectre, when it dies, must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom save. or gain one
Gain
level of
exhaustion. I love it.
Let the guy finish his sentence, man.
Now, this is why I like Spectrin's book, because what if you're not fighting one? What if you're fighting 3 of them, and one character already has level exhaustion? That's potentially 4 levels in one fight.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I love that. That is because if they fail this and they get levels of exhaustion, anything left that they're fighting just got significantly harder to beat.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that is terrifying. And the Spectre's a relatively low level monster, isn't it?
Yep.
Like what?
The Vagina Sphinx? Is that a Vagina Sphinx?
It's a female sphinx.
So the Spectre is only a CR1. So if you sent 8 of these at high level players and they failed their saving throw, it could cause them to die, which how humiliating would that be? Holy crap. That's terrifying. I love it. What about you, Ian?
Well, needless to say, when we were talking about which creature jumped out at us, I went straight to orcs.
Okay.
Because of course I did.
Which page are we talking about?
I have no idea. It's new about them.
Well, let me see if I can find. Oh, why isn't the Control F working?
It does, but
well, that's terrible. That's not gonna work.
Fork. It's full. Fork's full.
All right. As you can see, I mean, some of these are pretty.
It's alphabetical. Just go to O.
That's where I was at. L, M, N, O. O after L.
Une.
Y, M, N. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going the right direction.
All right. Since I'm already there.
Whatever,
I
dude.
just saw Mimic. I didn't read Mimic yet.
Time to go.
Yeah. Orcs. The plain old regular orcs, they become bloody when they're down to 7 HP. But their trigger ability is Rush Attack.
Yes!
As a reaction, when first bloodied, they can run up to their speed and then make one melee attack without provoking opportunity attacks.
Dude, she gave the orcs surprise, motherfucker! Oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah. The War Chief, bloodied at 46. New ability, Repositioning. As a bonus action when bloodied, the orc can command one of his allies to reposition. The creature can use its reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. It too has the rush attack ability.
My goodness.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a common theme here.
So I have to ask the audience, everyone that's in there, so far, what are your impressions of this? Because the goal is to make the game more dynamic and engaging, and having triggers and effects that go off on somebody else's turn, which is kind of like why I like legendary actions. This really takes to a next level. Andrew says, Spectres could also make the exploration leg extra difficult. A haunted frozen mountain pass that keeps everyone exhausted. Oh, shit, time to get wrecked. I think this is just great. And especially we see it with the orcs where they're getting their ass kicked, but they get an opportunity to go wreck some stuff before they die. Because let's be honest, there's a long amount of stuff that can happen before their turn comes back around. So giving them that little extra oomph is definitely a way, and it'll be a surprise to the player. I mean, could you guys imagine being level 4 and running into, a horde of like 6 orcs, not thinking much, hit them, and then with a small like weak fireball, and then they all just rush. Yeah, like all of them rush towards the wizard and just boom, wreck him.
Here goes the pain train, mother.
Woo woo, woo woo. I love it.
Check it.
This is so far one of my my favorite products that we've covered, because once again, as a fan of 4th edition, I just love it. But more importantly, the one thing that 5e arguably lacks is complex monsters. Now, that is a design decision because they want the DM to be able to easily run monsters, but this is something that you can easily toss, and you don't have to give every monster this. Maybe you want to set your orc up as a squad leader, so maybe you give him the or him or her the bloodied feature, right? So you got one orc that's basically the same as all those rest of them statistically wise, right? But they might have a slightly different weapon compared to the rest, and they're given orders, and then they have this ability. So I think it's a really great way to make monsters stand out, even if you want to include them against higher players. Once again, orcs can kind of go out of rotation pretty quickly. So giving at a higher level against higher level party, being able to toss this feature in and toss a swarm of at them will catch them by surprise because it won't be the orcs that they're typically used to seeing. Now, if anybody in the audience has or any of Crit Nation has a question, drop it in the link below, and our producer will pop it up, and we'll try to answer any questions you might have. As we kind of,
that was cool.
What's the one?
The gray ooze.
The gray ooze.
Gray ooze.
Strength bludgeoning resistance. While bloodied, the gray ooze is resistant to bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
It makes you think that as you're hitting it, you're spraying ooze around the walls and stuff. But as it gets smaller, it gets more compact and hard, so it's not taking as much hits from the bludgeoning.
Let's look at an iconic monster. I'm a big fan of the Beholder. So let's take a gander at that. Well, no, most people don't really fight a lot of those monsters. What about a hill giant? We got a hill giant somewhere. Let's type this in. Hill giant. That was one that I think becomes pretty common in battles pretty regularly. So the hill giant is a pretty cool one. At 52, it's bloodied. It gets frailty, frustrated. This is so on theme for a hill giant, right? They're simple-minded. They'll get angry when things aren't going their way. So I also love that she really went on theme with these, and they're not they're just not random things that the monsters can do, right? So the first one is frailty. Frustrated. The giant is frustrated by its injuries. At the start of each of its turns, it must succeed on a DC 10 wisdom saving throw or attack whatever creature is closest to it. If 2 or more creatures are within the same distance of the giant, it chooses the target at random.
So that could be allies.
Yes, it could.
Just go
and just start smashing wildly. This is very much giving the hill giant a Hulk feel, right? It gets down to halfway, and now it's just furious, and it starts slamming and bashing and beating whatever it can the whole time. Next, we give it a new ability called Ground Smash. As an action, while bloodied, the giant can hit the ground at its feet, making the earth shake. Ooh, I just love the feel of that. Each medium or smaller creature standing within 15 feet of the giant, when it hits the ground, must succeed a DC 16 dex save or fall prone. After using this ability, the giant can make a single attack as a bonus action. This is really cool. I think we have something similar in our Capes and Crooks where you can smash the ground and cause like a trembling cone effect, right? And then they get to beat them. So for those you don't know, when you're prone, you are very weak because any melee attack has advantage on you. So if this thing is flailing out of control and batching the ground and making people fall down, I imagine the minions that are with him are going to, beat them down. Mm-hmm. We got a really good question from Jeremy asking, how are goblins in this book? We'll get to that right after this, just for you, my man. Also kobolds.
Second the goblin question. Also kobolds, yeah.
Okay, so death throws. Timber! How appropriate. The giant falls in a random direction provided it isn't prone. Roll a d8 to determine which direction it falls. When it dies, the area where it lands becomes difficult terrain and the giant takes up a 15-foot square space. Each creature standing in the area must make a DC 15 dex saving throw. On a failed, the dead giant lands on top of them. The creature takes 5d6 bludgeoning damage, is knocked prone, and is restrained under the giant's body. The creature must use an action and 10 feet of movement on its turn and make a DC 17 strength athletics check, freeing itself from beneath the giant's crushing weight. If the creature succeeds on the dexterity saving throw, it takes no damage and isn't knocked prone, but is pushed 5 feet out of the giant's space. A creature cannot move or chooses not to move, suffers the consequences of a failed save. How awesome is that, you guys?
Very nice.
I like it. Makes me think of Fat Bastard.
Was that Mini-Me he was going over top of?
I think so.
Oh my gosh, God, we're old.
Goblins.
Dude.
Go to goblin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the giant? What?
Yep. The giant was pretty solid.
I like that.
All right. And spoilers, as we said, there's some creatures in here that are just plain squishy. So the kobolds, they have no entry because they're not going to be alive long enough for this to actually matter. And for the goblins themselves, they have no blade features. So for the Goblin Boss, who gets the hit and run ability at 10 HP.
Oh, there it is.
When bloodied, the Goblin Boss can hit a creature with a melee attack, which doesn't provoke until the start of his next turn. For opportunity attacks, that is, so he can run away.
So and like I said,
What's that?
Ian already pointed it out. Some of the monsters that are just too weak don't get bloodied features because they don't last. But you can totally take one of these existing features and apply it to any creature. And I think that's where a DM is really going to get the most out of this book. For instance, we talked about the orcs. When they entered bloodied, they get to move and make an attack. You can easily give that to goblins or kobolds as well. I think the gnolls actually have one. So the gnolls actually have one that you could apply to goblins or kobolds as well.
And give mine, kobolds have like 5 HP. So
they don't last very long.
No.
Timber as a mechanic works well if your players decide to go lumberjack and fell trees for the wood.
Yeah.
So Andrew's already included that, hey, this effect can be applied to something else that's not a monster, an environmental effect, which I think is great. I do think so I mentioned the gnoll here because I think this one could technically be applied to other ones if they survived, which is strength sprint attack. When bloodied, it moves up to 20 feet in a straight line and then hits a creature with a melee attack. The attack deals 1 extra die of damage. So that actually is stronger than the orc one, isn't it? I'm trying to think of what else I got here. There was another one I wanted to talk about here before. I'm losing my page. Oh, it's because I opened another tab. All right, so one of the other monsters that I really, really liked was the Iron Golem. Well, we're kind of running out of time here. Maybe will that be probably be the last one? I think. Yeah, went by fast, didn't it? So let's go look at the Iron Golem. Unless the audience wants to see something, is there any particular monster you want us to see us cover in the Bloodied and Bruised Monster Manual from Anne?
Did she cover dragons?
Yeah.
I haven't read any of those.
Stronger than orcs? You mean orcs' new ability? Wink, wink. Fair enough, Garwin. Fair enough. All right. Did you want to see a dragon?
Let's see a dragon.
Let's see a dragon. Ah, yes. Dragons are indeed being requested.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, that works then, doesn't it?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's start with a smaller, weaker dragon, like a wormling. That way we can see how it goes. So let's start with the wormling. So 84 hit points. It gets bloodied. Recharges breath.
Yeah.
Free roll, baby. I love it.
Yep. Young Silver Dragon.
Recharges breath, weapon ability is recharged.
And then gets a new ability.
New ability, bite back. While bloodied, if a creature misses the dragon with a melee attack, it can use its reaction to make a bite against the creature. It's like you missed.
Oh, that's good. What do we got here, Ian?
Protector of the Small. While bloodied, the dragon can protect a smaller creature within 10 feet of it from an attack that would hit it. As a reaction, the silver dragon can add 4 to a medium or smaller creature's AC against 1 weapon attack that would hit it. Note how it says weapon attack. To do so, the dragon must be able to see the attacker and be able to move.
I like this. And then we've got, so another thing that we talked about, she added some new stuff. Some of the monsters have triggered abilities, right? So it's something that happens when a specific condition is met. This is when it's bloodied, but only that one time. Right? So when first bloodied, the dragon can use its reaction to make a claw attack against a creature within range. So it can only get it once. And there's a lot of different varieties of triggers that are pretty good. And obviously these sorts of abilities kind of scale. Fling is a popular one I've seen among the bigger dragons, where they can just replace their claw with fling and start tossing the player characters in all directions, which I think is just awesome and on point. And looks like they also get one called Heavy Steps. So while bloodied, a dragon moves at least 20 feet. It doesn't leave the ground doesn't leave the ground. It can replace its bite with Heavy Step attack. Basically, it's trampling you. Can potentially knock you prone and some stuff like that. Looks like we got another one asking about oozes before we move on. We'll do one more.
2 for oozes.
We'll do some oozes here.
I saw there was 3 from what I was looking at.
Flesh golems. Hellhounds. Hellhound was a cool one too.
Revenant was very fun too.
What one?
Revenant. We did touch on Grey Ooze earlier.
Did we did touch on the news, didn't we? We can see.
One.
Let's go to the legendary gelatinous one, huh?
The gelatinous cube.
Wouldn't that been a G?
Oh, how did I get to S already?
Nope, it's under O where it oozes.
No, I know. Oh, the gelatinous cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she categorized them.
Yep. The gelatinous cube. When bloodied at 22 hit points, it gains the following features. Well, once again, bludgeoning resistance. Well, bloodied resistance to bludgeoning damage.
So what other features does the gelatinous cube have without that, I guess? Because resistance
It has
is
that acidic ability or whatever it is.
Yeah.
right. So yeah, it basically it just gives it resistance to bludgeoning, which means it can't be beaten to death by more mundane ways, which is fine. I would say of the ones I've seen, this one's probably the least exciting, but it's still on theme.
No, how it says bludgeoning damage, not
piercing or slashing.
No. Just says bludgeoning, period. So even if you're using a magical weapon.
Oh, it doesn't say non-magical.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'd say the black pudding ooze, gelatinous cube, they both have the same.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. The gray ooze.
Gray ooze had the same.
The ochre jelly is different. No, it's not. So that's a pretty standard one across those that theme of monster, I think.
Yep.
So looks like we're just about out of time here.
For the main topic,
our main topic, at least, before we move on to bringing you some under tips and tricks.
Sexy.
Overall, what is your guys' thoughts and feelings about this?
I like it. More fun combat.
And that's something that really just makes the game better. Now, it is worth noting that this will make the combat a little more challenging to run as the dungeon master, because you're going to have more things to pay attention to. So just keep that in mind.
Grace Lad.
But overall, I'm really impressed by this. I like the layout. I like the artwork. The features are definitely a lot of fun. Some of them are really complex, while there's a little more simplistic, but I think that it fits. Like zombie. We got to talk about zombie for a second. So it has new ability, sluggish bolting. Those kind of don't fit. So when bloodied, there's a 75% chance the zombie becomes sluggish, and there's a 25% chance that it becomes bolting. If it becomes sluggish, it moves slower. But if it becomes bolting, it can take the dash action as a bonus. Can you imagine a random zombie just starts dashing around after everybody?
As written, couldn't have both at the same time?
Well, you only get bloodied once, right?
All right.
So it says while you're bloodied, you only have one of these.
So someone mixed Dawn of the Dead zombies with World War Z.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of going. I like that. But because it's random, if you got a pack of these zombies, like 10 of them, they're all going to behave differently. And it's going to be random. They might all be really fast. They might be all really slow. Even the DM won't know because it's random, though obviously 75% chance it's more likely to become slower. Yeah. But all right. Let me get this out of the way here. And get our live stream back up here. Let's pop this out. Close that up there.
Jerry found the cocaine.
Bring forth the sentient dagger lube.
Zombies had track stars too.
All right, so I think that will do it for our main topic today. I have to get my notes up.
The notes
here. There are show notes. Before we move on to our under tips and tricks, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Ho, 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 gentlemen. The holidays came early here at Crit Academy thanks to Manscaped. Oh, stupid Grammarly closed. The leading men's hygiene brand, Manscaped, just launched new products, including their all-new ultra premium body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. It's time to give yourself, or someone who needs it, the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code CRIT for 20% off and free shipping.
Manscaped is going beyond the groin with their new premium body wash. It's infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, fresh, and moisturized.
Aloe vera.
I guess you would need the aloe vera to offset the sea salt. They are also just launched a new 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, which has key ingredient benefits that include hydrating, nourishing, and conditioning the scalp, and strengthening your hair at the same time.
Okay. Untrimmed puebes are a thing of the past, and it's possible you have Santa's beard in your pants. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the signature lawnmower, TM 4.0, trademark. This electric trimmer has proprietary. I can't fucking read.
This is the
Proprietary
American educational system hard at work, fellas. Ladies. People.
Advanced skin safe, TM. Technology to reduce cuts on your nuts.
Reduce cuts on your reduce. You get a slur there? Reduce?
Reduce?
That's what you said.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Of course, you gave that packet to the Navy guy.
Oh, that's funny.
Do
So,
not read. Oh,
no, dude says, come on now.
I failed.
Roll a nat 20 this holiday gift giving season and get 20% off and free shipping with promo code CRIT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. I feel like an infomercial. I guess that's why they do it that way. That's 20% off with your free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code CRIT. Clean up your Dyson satchel and make Santa proud this year.
That's right. Crit Academy's selling out.
We got to pay the bills, man. Oh, man. Can I just say I love this thing? I have not had any issues since I picked her up. Picked it up.
Face palms.
Her up.
Face palms.
I prefer to use it on my face, and it's kept my beard going pretty good. What was that?
I don't know. Garwin. Garwin says, will admit these fluffs are fluff ups are what I love about the show. Thank you. Oh, that's funny.
You used to be a lot more tangenty. We would go off on tangents all the time.
Yeah, that's why the show is now 1 hour instead of, more. Future Manscaped bit. Nobody wants to floss with pubes. Keep your significant other happy with Manscaped. Oh, I love it. Let's save that for later. All right. How about we move on to our honor tips and tricks?
Wise.
And now, what you've all been waiting for. Our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
I can only imagine.
Welcome back.
Kicking off our Unearthed Tips and Tricks, we have our character concept.
Yay!
By Lee Frost Stouttail, female dwarf. Her skin has the orange glow of too much sun, which seems very much not a dwarf thing at all. So, which tells you something about her. She dresses in colored shirts and wears a proper scarf over her head. She wears her white hair down. Her brown, unseeing eyes seem to look past you. Personality-wise, she has always had a great fascination with tabaxi culture.
She's a weeb.
She always tries to repair and not replace. This was the mentality that drove her into the animal trainer business.
Nice.
Interesting. She was a bastard born out of an affair, and her mother always resented and mistreated her for it out of spite. Wait a second. Her parents have enrolled her in an adept school at a young age so she could practice her druidic talents. She hopes to save enough money to one day pay a cleric to cure her. I'm getting the impression from earlier entries that she's blind.
Maybe.
Her unseeing eyes.
Unseeing eyes is a good start, yeah.
She has a passion for adventure and risk, and to reunite with her old friends.
Because she can't find them because she can't see. Oh no, that's so bad. What do you guys think?
Definitely a lot going on there. Oh, no wonder why she has no problem beating the sun. She can't see it.
I'm gonna burn in Avernus. So you're saying, according to Garwin, she wanted to put them tabaxi on there.
Tabaxi.
Is it supposed to be tabaxi?
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to so you're saying she wanted to put them tabaxi on their knees to do her bidding. Oh god, dude.
But just clicked with him.
Yeah, I was a little slow on that one. All right, so I like this character concept. Pretty straightforward. NPC, player character, whatever you want, take it with it. Go with it.
Yep.
Our monster variant of the podcast is the Solar Method.
Yeah.
So, in order to build this bad boy, you're going to start with the Magma Method. In the Lost and Changed features, it's going to get rid of its evil alignment, false appearance, its breath weapon, and we're going to give it a new spell list, and its death burst does radiant damage instead of fire damage. The new spell list is Dancing Lights and Light cantrip, and we're going to give it a new feature called Solar Flare. That sounds familiar. No, maybe?
Yeah, it's Tien from Dragon Ball.
When the method hit points drop below half its maximum,
Bloodied.
yeah, see? It releases a flare of blinding light. Each creature within 30 feet of it that can see the method must succeed a DC 11 con save or be blinded. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the start of each of its turns. It literally is Tien. Yeah, okay. I was actually not thinking Tien. I was thinking Curling because methods are really tiny and bald. So
Your shoulder's not hurting, is it?
Yeah.
why?
For when you reach around and pat yourself on the back.
Ow.
Hey guys, I just wanted to freeze out with a solar flare, and then you hit me with your Destructo disc. No.
Failure. And then we're going to give it one more feature. The Radiant Burst recharges on a 6. The method releases a burst of glowing celestial light in a 10-foot cube. Each evil aligned creature must make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw, taking 2d4 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Each good aligned creature gains 2d4 temporary hit points that last for up to 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
What do you guys think of my celestial method elemental creature thing?
I like Radiant Burst. That's pretty cool.
It blinds.
Bad for the bad, good for the good.
Oh, that's what happened to the
I do gotta tell you though, because you're saying method. I keep hearing Muppet, and all I can hear is Elmo going, "Elmo's gonna put you on the ground."
So,
I'm gonna boom boom.
so somebody is saying, so why is it in a cube and not in a sphere? Because highly likely, whatever spell I modeled after was a cube and not a square.
And
Whatever.
and when you play on a grid, it's gonna be a square anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, but I will fix the verbiage.
Minecraft.
All right, so I think that because cubes are a natural state of the universe, Garwin, you win the internet today with that one.
I thought spheres.
I don't know.
Spheres and spirals were the natural state.
You know what? Stop talking.
You
Why
stop
don't
talking.
you tell us what our encounter is?
Our encounter is my foot in your ass.
I would be impressed with a cube of light. That's funny.
Yeah. Encounter anti-magic chamber. Really? Get that out of the way. PCs enter a room with magical runes that generate an anti-magic field. The casters have to work to complete a series of skill challenges to dispel or interrupt the anti-magic runes. Additionally, these runes are guarded by mechanical traps, ones that make you lose your fingers. So in addition to a skill challenge, fuck you.
Forgot about that.
So in addition to a skill challenge for the casters to overcome, the traps also have to be disabled before or during the disabling of the magical runes. As if the challenge wasn't enough, you want to include some sort of other hazard, monsters being the obvious choice.
Mm-hmm.
Some other considerations is a ritual being completed, maybe sacrificial, or an enemy is escaping, or kidnapping a hostage, or another trap that fills the area with poison
gas. Go with poisonous gas. I love poisonous gas.
Or going off the Muppet theme, you have Stetler and Waldorf heckling you guys.
This is a pretty straightforward encounter. Honestly, it's been sitting in my brain box, like written out for like 7 months. So I figured I'd finally use it, I guess. This is a pretty straightforward. I like anti-magic field. You got to be careful not to be throwing this crap at your players too often.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a cop-out, right? And an easy way to win. So don't use it too much. If you're going to use it, as we mentioned, using it in a way where escape or handling another thing besides just killing everything is the goal is gonna be better, because at least then when the wizard can't do nothing, he can still run over and help somebody or pull a lever.
Or Another way to ignore the anti-magic part is fill the room with gas.
Yeah, I like that.
Because there's always some guy who, no matter how many times he said your room smells like gas, their guy casts fireball.
Kaboom, bitches. Oh, that's funny. Garwin says an anti-magic field is just a factone of magic in a single point. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Anyways, all right, so that'll do it for our encounter, the anti-magic chamber. Our magic item of the podcast is the Trident of the Tides. Now, I do have to say that this was made in response to a request from one of our TikTok followers. So if you're not following us there, do it. I make stuff and take inspiration and build it for my audience. So this magic item is a trident and is very rare and requires attunement. You can breathe air and water and gain a swim speed equal to your move speed while holding this trident. Well, that sounds very Aquaman-like. The trident has 10 charges. While wielding it, you can use an action to expend one or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it at a DC 15 or a +5 for attack. Control water, 4 charges. Shape water, 1 charge. Tsunami, 10 charges. Watery sphere, 4 charges. Now, Tsunami, I'm pretty sure is a 9th level spell.
It's
pretty up there, so that's a big deal. Now, the trident regains 2d4 + 2 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the trident turns into coral and loses all magical properties.
Cool. I like that.
Level.
What?
I like that.
Yeah, I thought he was talking shit.
Anyone? No, every time we've done ones where it's like, oh, if you roll d20, it lands on a 1, it breaks or it becomes not magical. This, it just turns into something else. That's
very thematic too, though.
Yep.
People might say, oh, it's not useful no more, but you can still chuck a piece of coral at someone.
I mean, how legendary would it be the guy that's, saves the world with what? A coral trident.
Yeah.
He's the Aquaman. I love it. You got anything to add?
Okay. Straightforward, effective, and splish splash.
Splish splash, Alice.
Now I want to take a bath. Here in the... Anyways, so Brandon, would you like to tell us about our Dungeon Master tip today?
Holy shit, every DM sucks. What the fuck? Who sent this in? From @Snicklesocks on Twitter.
Best name ever.
Every single DM sucked to begin with. Don't judge yourself against the legends in our games. Take your time, research the best you can, and have a good time. Like every other skill, it takes time and mistakes to become awesome at it. Don't give up. You can do it. The Matt Mercer effect is a great example.
Yep.
And don't give up. You can do it. You could not have said that any more dully.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Not everyone can be a Matt Mercer. You got to be.
But you don't have to be. Yeah. And that's why I like this DM tip, because everyone sees all these other podcasters and show people and forget that every table is different.
That's not what Matt Mercer does. I'm not Matt Mercer.
And
motherfucker.
Now, and Matt has said this himself. Don't do what I do. Do what's good for you and your team and your table. And we say that a lot, because I still am. Ever since I was a young DM in my younger years, I always would worry and stress about whether I did a good job. And I still do that. And I know I'm much better than I was then, but I still have those same feelings because I always know that there's room for improvement. But that is more, I think, of an insecurity than anything else. And I feel like if you don't have that insecurity, you won't improve. If you don't worry about whether you made a mistake or something like that, that's saying, oh, there's opportunity for me to improve, and you'll continue to drive it. Yeah. I've seen the DM that says, I'm the best. No, you suck. You just think you're good.
I just saw a great example of this actually today, because I joined another D&D group on Facebook, and someone had said, hey, this happened in my game today, and I feel bad about it, and I don't know what I could have done to make it better. An assassin was trying to take out this king, right? And this honorable knight, one of the players decided to say, I'm going to stay behind and protect the king. The rest of the party chased after the assassin. Then the game was like 5 hours long, and he just stood there the whole time, and he wasn't involved in any way. It's like, I don't know what I could have done. Does anyone have any tips or anything? And I said, don't beat yourself up over it. It happens. I was in a situation like this once. if you see something like this again, throw some other assassins to take out the king to keep that specific player busy and just keep him in the initiative.
And sometimes too, let's face it, players make decisions, and sometimes that's the consequences of their actions.
Sometimes it's death.
and that's something that people forget. Like, just because you don't think there's nothing for that person to do, try to think outside the box to include them in some way. That's why I like levers and switches and traps and all these things that could, extra waves of enemy. Maybe you can hear, enemies coming down the corridor. Quick, bar it up, too many for them to battle. Find them something to do, because otherwise it's bored. Or just give them control of monsters. If you're not going to let the character do something, say, here's the stat blocks. Run them. Try to kill everybody. I guarantee you somebody will really enjoy that. Look at the grin on his face. He's like, oh, yes. You gave me 5 of these. I'm going to destroy you. And honestly, I find that players controlling monsters are far more aggressive with them than I am.
Yep.
So like every wrongdoing that character has suffered is now coming through, channeled to the players and the enemy's monsters.
This is protecting my coin purse. Fuck you.
Remember that potion you took from me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw down a rope to pull you up. All right, that'll do it for our DM tip. Every DM sucks, and that is true. No matter how great you are, you can always get better. Our player tip of the podcast is
don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by following the Pact of the Arrow. This is fun. I can get it up on my screen here. The Arcane Archer with Pact of the Blade Warlock. Let's talk some multi-classing. The goal of this build is to build a highly versatile ranged archer class, starting off with the fighter picking up the archery to grant the +2 bonus to hit with our ranged weapon attacks. We're off to a good start. Then we go at least 3 levels to gain the Arcane Archer archetype. This will allow us twice per short rest to boost our damage and help with battlefield control from other options available to us on the arcane shots. Then we're going to multi-class into Warlock to get the Pact of the Blade and take the improved pack weapon to allow us to conjure a bow that increases our attack bonus and damage by +1. Now we have a +3 to hit with our attacks. This bonus is equal to a legendary magic item. You're welcome. Just to give you an idea of how potent it is. You know what's cool about this? The weapon becomes your spellcasting focus too. Now, we can now use our Warlock spell slots to cast Eldritch Smite, which then can stack with some of our arcane shots. To top it off, both the arcane shots and the Warlock slots regenerate on a short rest. Also, did we mention that it stacks with Hex on top of the bonuses you already get? Smiting Paladins, better watch out. Now, it is worth noting, there is an invocation you have to get to make the packed weapon work with the ranged bow, I think. If I believe, but that's the only condition to this.
That's a +3 on top of your proficiency and your dex mod, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
And I do think it's worth noting, too, is that you can also swap out Battlemaster instead as well, if you want.
Yes, I could see that. I could see Battlemaster. That's a good idea.
Yep.
I went the Arcane Archer route because that was what I was thinking, but I hadn't even thought of that.
Both work.
Yep. Yeah, they do. I like that. They're a little bit, I think they're both versatile in their own way. So anyways, what do you guys think?
That sounds fun because I really like the archers. I like shooting shit.
Range smite.
Especially if you hit them.
Range smite.
That's basically what this is.
They get shot.
Oh, Garwin, find a +3 legendary bow on top of it, and yeah, you're boned.
Yeah.
So, I do want to say that if you've been following on social media, the reason this is the concept is one of the new archetypes for the wizard that I'm building for the Extraordinary Expeditions. They wanted to be an offensive wizard, so I decided to make it like my favorite Emerald Archer, and I inspired it with Druidic, giving it access to some Druid powers and proficiency in longbow and shortbow and using it as a focus for powers. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. Overall, this is a really fun and straightforward tip. Is there anything you would add to that?
No.
It is super effective.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
It's against type.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Shots. Oh, of arrows.
Shots.
All right, so that'll do it for our. Ooh, I closed my. I think I closed my. No, our player tip of the podcast.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick, and you can avoid dickitude by
being a dick archer.
by doing Pact of the Arrow. Before we close out today, we have a gift to give away. Compliments of my boy and friend Chad Lynch. Brandon, tell them what they've won today.
The RPG Fat Lou giveaway. Rescue at Griffin Craig Pass by Chad Lynch. While the party is in Ghoulport, they are enlisted to help their shipmates involved in a shipwreck. How it happens, no one knows. The winner is Kid Kovash 94.
Hey, Brandon, if they didn't win, how can they enter?
By being better.
Roll better, bitches.
If he didn't win, that's not a problem or an issue. Head to critacademy.com and subscribe for your chance to win. It's a newsletter, right? That's all it is?
It's more than that. We've been we promote other stuff. Our blog is in there with lots of our honor tips and tricks and new stuff that I do, and keep up on the latest. There's blogs that are resources to help you better play and be a DM and all that jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of good stuff in there.
It's a lot of good reads.
There's a special prize for those in there today or this week.
What?
That there is. And the prize. We also are giving 3 more giveaways. That's right, 3. Just make a comment in the chat before Saturday on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. And we'll choose one winner from each platform to win a copy.
Yeah. Congratulate. We're excited.
Mm-hmm.
We love giving away. Thank you to Chad for giving us this opportunity.
What a Chad.
What a Chad. This adventure is awesome, and I'm really excited to give it away. Oh, excuse me. So, if you enjoy the show and you would want to support us, please head on over to critacademy.com. Follow us on social media. Please watch us on YouTube. Help the algorithm find more people like yourself so we can grow this amazing community. Because I'll tell you what, I recently streamed the building of a Ranger archetype, and it was so much fun. Everyone that came out, it was a blast. I got lots of great ideas. You can head on over and find the post in the channel of our YouTube that actually has a link to a Ranger Trapper class, subclass. And I'm taking feedback. So if you got ideas, come and check it out and read it and give me some feedback. Comments are turned on. Please keep the comments clean. I may have to have delete more than one because people are pile of shits apparently. So yeah, check that out. I'm hoping to do another one soon with one of the other classes. Like I said, I just designed the Emerald Conclave tradition for the School of the Emerald Conclave Wizards. So hopefully I'll have a play test available for some people soon with that. All right. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared. We should totally try to do that together, you guys.
What the fuck?
We should do that together. You ready?
Oh, look,
We're all gonna point.
I got a
what?
You got a customer. I have a player wanting to play a Trapper style PC. I need this.
Yes, you can find it on our YouTube in the community section. Just scroll till you find the link. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna all point and we're gonna say it. Ready?
Yep.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Crap, it worked.
I know.